Deluded, I'm back again. Nothing is going to stop me from making videos. Rain, sleet, sunshine, whatever. Nothing is going to stop me in it. I had a couple of moments as I'm en route to carry out my day job. So why not make a vid? Something of nothing. I thought, you know what? Over a month or something in the season, let's kind of assess the progress that some of our young players or just players in general have got up to on loan. First and foremost, Osei Tutu, he's made 5 appearances at Bochum, 2nd Division German side. We all know before the season started he made the headlines through no fault of his own for rather negative reasons. We all know the racist attack that he was, well, the racist verbal attack that he was victim of, and it's quite sad. He's already potentially learned a lot, to be honest, because he's had 2 managers in his short time of being a manager. Again, I mean a player. Not sure of the names of the 2 gaffers, but looking at Bochum, they got rid of their previous manager the other day, people. So already in his young career, he's had to deal with 3 managers if you encounter Emre, but 2 managers. So obviously 2 managers in a short period of time. Obviously, I'm not following his club in the inner micro dealings of what his club are doing, well, his temporary home, but as a young player, you've got to be able to deal with that. One manager might rate you, the other one might not. I'm not saying they do or don't, but that can be a good thing for him. You've actually seen him play right wing, which he has previously played right wing as well as right back in Arsenal's academy as well. Obviously, his future, if he is to have one at Arsenal, is going to be as a right fullback. So it's good to see the progress he's making, people. Apologies as I change my hands. So it's nice to see the progress that he's particularly making. He's made 5 appearances. He's actually 21 years of age in October. So obviously we know at 21 you really need to be playing senior football. He's got a decision to make when he comes back in the summer. Like I said, with a lot of these players, when you get one taste of senior football or a bit of it, you don't want to go back to playing 23s, with all due respect to the 23s football. You don't want to go back to that. Him, Eddie, they're not going to want to go back to that, so they're going to have to review their situations. Eddie's is completely different. I'm not saying Eddie's going to leave. What I'm saying is once you get a taste of senior football, you can't go back to playing 23s where the games don't really mean anything. He's 21 years of age. You don't want to be playing under 23s football anyways at that age, people. So is he going to be given an opportunity to be the understudy or compete with Bellerin after getting some first-team experience this season? Who knows? He might have to go somewhere where he might find himself going on a couple of loan spells, people. If he doesn't potentially leave permanently and he's not going to get looking in the first team, he needs to go somewhere where he can set up his roots, stay for a couple of years, get closer to 100 career appearances as a professional footballer. And this almost, by that logic, you could say this loan spell, if he isn't going to make it at Arsenal, it's almost a shop window to permanent clubs to take a chance on him, to be fair with you. Because, yeah. Obviously, Ballard's returned to Arsenal after his sad little injury. Ben Schaefer's made 6 appearances for total at his loan club, Doncaster Rovers, people. 4 in the league. He's actually been playing in midfield predominantly. He got an assist against Fleetwood Town. And he's someone who's 21 years of age. I think he could have made it at Arsenal and still can as a utility sort of player. But do you really necessarily want to do that? And again, at 21 years of age, he can play as a centre-half like we've seen. We're well stocked at centre-half and there's still talk of more coming in. Central midfield, the same case remains. At 21 years of age, with all the wealth of options or just stockpiling within these positions, is it worth potentially leaving permanently next season? Again, similar to Osei Tutu, he's putting himself in the shop window. Obviously, Mkhitaryan just joined from Roma. Just joined Roma on loan. Saliba, obviously, people, he's technically been loaned back, but he's injured, and I thought I'd just mention him. Umtiti's mentioned Arsenal, people, and he said in regards to the reports all summer in that Raul Sanllehi was after him, he's Arsenal's top target and all of these sort of things. He said, honestly, I don't know where the rumours about Arsenal came from. Overnight, I received messages from my friends saying, so you're joining Arsenal? I said, I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm staying at Barcelona. In regards to contact with Arsenal, to be honest, I don't know if they had any conversations with my agent. I just told him that I didn't care what was happening this summer and that it wasn't even necessary to talk to me about it. So like a few players, people, you also obviously heard last summer, Barcelona wanted Neymar. They needed to sell players and whatnot. And it was spoken of Umtiti potentially being one of them with his injury record. And allegedly Deschamps has told him if he's not playing on a regular basis, he can forget about Euro 2020, which if you're a French player, considering that you just won the World Cup, you want to be part of that. You could potentially add another trophy to your cabinet. He stayed at Barcelona. There's also concerns over his injury problems. Personally, I would have taken him. From that language, apologies for the noise, people. From that language, people, again, he's not saying his agent or intermediaries, if that's even the word, people that are acting on behalf of Arsenal or Barcelona could have tried to drum up interest by either party, whether that's to sell, in Barcelona's case to sell Titi, or in Arsenal's case to be encouraged to go for him. We'll never know. These sort of things happen in football. There's a lot of middlemen. This just stinks to me as someone that said, you know what, I want to be a success at Barcelona. I want to make it at Barcelona. I don't want to entertain the rumours of leaving. Obviously, if money's put on the table, bids are accepted, it's a different story. But you've seen a lot of players, his future is up for air, and his fellow Frenchman, Ousmane Dembele, obviously Coutinho left. There was talk of Rakitic potentially moving on. I don't know if Rafinha's actually moved on or whatever, but there's been talk over a lot of players, people, of such. If I was Barcelona personally, I would have somehow brought Neymar in. I would have kept Coutinho, because I just feel Coutinho, Dembele, Neymar, Griezmann, Messi, that's a madness, people. And it also, I wouldn't say it helps prepare for life after Messi, because nothing is going to prepare for life after Messi. But at 32 years of age, if he was to leave Barcelona tomorrow, of course there's a drop-off. But you'd have Neymar, Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann. It would be good, people. Obviously it's Barcelona, they're going to buy good players anyways, people. Moving on, and Granit Xhaka has revealed he's been suffering with an Achilles problem since the start of last season. I thought to just bring that up is because we don't always, for all his criticisms, I'm not saying because he's injured we need to allow him from these mistakes, but I always feel when people talk about Arsenal not playing through the pain barrier and things like that, I thought to mention that because we've heard a couple of players allegedly playing with injury. Leno was playing with a broken finger or something last season. I like to find these things out because you don't necessarily know these people. There's players that are taking painkilling injections the day before a game, and I mean an hour before the game, and after the game it feels like their foot is going to drop off. So I like to hear that because I feel people always are class footballers of, apologies people if that's done anything, of being soft and things like that. I think I pressed a button. Of footballers of being soft and that, but it is what it is. You've also heard allegedly Granit Xhaka is going to take a break from football when his newborn, his wife gives birth to their newborn child. Congratulations, whether it's a boy or a girl, in advance, because a child is a blessing. A healthy child is a blessing. Fingers crossed there's no complications with the delivery of his child and all of these things. Obviously Xhaka is a young man, he's 26 years of age, but footballers' terms it's a bit exaggerated. He's got a house to, he's got another child, he's got a child to think about. I don't know if he has another child, but I know personally it must be mad different because he's more or less living for himself at this moment in time. Obviously not now, but he's living for himself. When you get a kid, it puts things into a different sort of perspective, people. So that's, like he said, there's very few things more important than football, but that is one of them. So if he, especially as a footballer, when you're all over the place, like his family have probably seen already in his, I don't want to say short career, but short in the sense that he's only in his mid-20s, and all of these sort of things. So if he's going to take a break, again, that break could be exaggerated. It could just be a week or two, people. It could be a full month. I just felt to mention that because it's been said. I'm not too sure. I know a lot of critics will be happy if Xhaka takes a break and telling him to take the year off and whatnot. But yeah, man, congratulations to him in advance. Kelechi Nwakale, I can never say his name, who joined Hurstgar on a free transfer. Apparently there's a buyback clause in his contract, and he said he's not ruling out returning to Arsenal in the future. We all know a big part as to why he didn't make it here, for me in short, was just that he's unable to get a work permit, so he's unable to be under the manager's eyes. Maybe his potential choice of loans or the club's choice of loan spells weren't the best for him potentially, because he had drips and drabs of success at these clubs, but it didn't really happen. And he went to Porto last season and joined their B team. He was never going to play for their first team because he's not at that level currently. So that was a bit of a different one. A bit off topic or a bit on topic, people, but I myself are guilty of it. I don't really talk about women's football. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't watch it, people. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But I'm trying to get into it. You lot know me. I'll support any sort of cause. And I must admit, I watched Arsenal. Was it Arsenal versus West Ham? That was a good game. I was impressed with the City game. One City player scored a banger. Spurs versus Chelsea highlights look good. Just all the games look good over the weekend from women's football, and it's a good look, man. I like the technical ability of the football that was played. I like to see as well that obviously Arsenal ladies, it's irrelevant, but Arsenal ladies obviously played at the Emirates in the summer, so there's that. Chelsea versus Spurs was played at Stamford Bridge, so that entices people to come to the games and drum up interest in things. And obviously, clearly, the women's game has a long way to go before it matches up with the football of men's football. Just the sheer attention and commercial revenue and all of these things that the men's game grows. That's not me saying one's better than the other. That's just me stating facts. But it's nice to see, man, because it doesn't matter what skin colour you are, what race, what religion you are. Football's inclusive for all. So long may the female game keep going. And we also know, sadly, there's idiots out there who have rather outdated views in regards to women and playing football, and people will always look at it with a degree of criticism. Like for me, I really don't like that. You look at a lot of women's pundits, for example. Obviously, men, women, pundits, whatever. Some people are capable of silly shouts and they don't know what they're talking about. But for me, when it comes to women pundits, it looks like people are just really trying to get on them as soon as possible before they've even said something. Like Alex Scott, I don't agree with all of her shouts, but she meant 99% of her shouts are cool. But it just looks like people always trying to find faults, for example, with what she's saying. If a male says it, they're not going to bat an eyelid, people, really and truly. So that's quite sad. So moving on from that, I just felt I'd mention that. Apologies for the background noise. Playing devil's advocate. Should we have kept Santi Cazorla, people? I know we shouldn't have, because at the time I was saying his age, his injury record, as much as I love him and his serviceman, it doesn't make sense. And considering the business we've done in terms of offloading money off the wage bill at the club this summer, it wouldn't have made sense to keep Santi. But Santi and Xhaka are different, but could Santi have done any worse than Xhaka, for example, in this position? This is all me playing devil's advocate. And also, Santi Cazorla, he's made 3 appearances this season and he made 46 appearances last season, courtesy of transfer mark. So he got over these injuries. Again, I'm not saying we should have kept him. I feel we made the right decision and whatnot. But just to play devil's advocate, because I was watching him against Real Madrid before the international break, and I was like, yeah, man, it's a good look from Santi, and could he have been used? Could his experience have been used and things like that, and whatnot, or in the position he plays? Because I mean, he could play in a pivot, he could potentially play in Xhaka's role. Again, there's a case to be said over how much kilometers he's covering, how much distance. He does get subbed a lot, but he has completed 90 minutes on a frequent basis. So good luck to him at Villarreal, and long may it continue. And obviously he's at the end of his career, more or less. Hopefully he has some couple of good years left, or has a good season, because he's been robbed over these last couple of years of saying bye to Arsenal fans and just simply playing football. It's nice to see he's allowed to play, he's able to play football, he's able to walk, let alone play football, because we all know the well-documented journey that Santi Cazorla's had in regards to making it able to play on a first team basis in a professional football club again, well, at first team level. So yeah, man, there's not really that much more to say. Like I said, this video was something of nothing. You don't know me, I can't stay away from you guys. So on that note, people, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for always watching, rocking and supporting.